Hi guys, good morning. Today is Thursday, July 11th, 2024, and we are smack in the middle of the greatest story Hashem ever told. Greatest story. And I'm realizing this week, let me just see if anybody's with me. I'm going to give it a minute to see who comes. Hi, Betty. Thanks for coming. So, Betty, I'm realizing we are smack in the middle of the greatest story Hashem ever told. Hey, Mad Hippie's life. Good morning. And I'm understanding on a deeper level just how biblical all of this is. Just how biblical, like Q says, he chased freedom. And this week, they say that, when you're ready, the teacher emerges. This week, I have been learning from this hey, Irma. I've been learning from this woman, Amanda Byes, B-U-Y-S. Amanda Byes. She comes forward with some pretty intense information. I posted one of her interviews to our Telegram chat. And you just have to get past her Jesus. If you're Jewish, you just have to kind of tune out her Jesus. She filters the world through the lens of Jesus, and that's fine. But I'm able to sort through and hear the rest of her information because she's coming forward with some pretty advanced secret information. And she gathers her information in a similar way to what Dolores Cannon used to do, kind of like a journalist. She takes her information from the people that she has helped and counseled, I think, for decades, who are recovering from SRA. SRA. What is SRA? SRA. Hey, Ruthie. Hey, Steve. Hey, TCDM4. What is SRA? SRA is satanic ritual abuse. And I'm amazed that these videos stay up on YouTube. I think it means that the censorship has changed. I think the people in control have changed, and I think they want this information to be spread more and more. I'm going to binge watch more of her interviews. She's so sincere. I mean, her sincerity is through the roof. And it's firsthand information she's getting. She's not researching in the library. She's talking to survivors, and they're bringing her the details. It doesn't get more authentic than that. And I think this is all like leading up to next week's parsha, which is Balak, which is sorcery, which is the heart of the evil sorcery. And these people know what they're doing. They know how to draw down energy. They know how to perform ritual. This is the heart of their practice. And Amanda describes in detail. And it's interesting to me. I like to know this stuff because I like to understand just how biblical this is. And our class today, you guys, hey, Karina, our class today, Rabbi Gozlan put in our hands a gift of the opposite, the ritual, the holy ritual, the holy things that have been kept from the masses that only the deepest Kabbalists have known and passed in secret holy societies, the counterpart of the secret occult societies. There has to have been an equal and opposite group of people sustaining the world. While those people were drawing down evil energies and dark energies, there had to have, for the world to sustain to this point, there had to have been a counterpart. And I know there was hidden tzaddikim, hidden holy ones who knew all these secrets and how to connect and how to transmute cosmic decrees and cosmic energies in order to keep us alive until this point of redemption. We're at the precipice. Our toes are curled on the precipice of redemption, and we're waiting for it to pop off any minute now. And I think it is time. I know it is time for us to know some of these secrets as well. And the title of today's class is The Slingshot for Our Prayers. how our prayers can bypass these dark entities and have a straight shoot to God. And it's a good one today. It's a good one. Very rarely do I listen to a YouTube interview and I have to pull out a pen and paper and start taking notes. And I had to do that with Amanda Byes. And I just want to read to you like one or two little things that I wrote down that are so echoing of what Rabbi Gozlan teaches us in Kabbalah. She said a fallen angel. She like gives descriptions and she categorizes this stuff. A fallen angel does not need a physical body to manifest. They can manifest a body on their own. They don't need us. They can manifest their own body. She says a demon, the demons are like the lowliest of all of the demonic creatures. And they're like the dime a dozen. And she says the demon attaches to our bodies through alcohol, that's why I have to be careful with all this like ayahuasca stuff that I'm never drawn to, because you could make yourself open to like these little annoying, demonic, dark, little creepy energies. She said the Nephilim are the fallen angels, and they have a human body and they are able to reproduce. And she goes into like this third strand of DNA that these Nephilim mothers can pass on to their children. And it's all ritualistic. That's just some of the stuff I wrote down. This week, in preparation for Parshas Balak, I'm going to try to listen to some more so I could share with you guys more. But if you want to listen, if you have the fortitude and the intestinal lining to listen to some of her stuff, it's just eye-opening. It's more preparation for the showdown that's coming between the light and dark forces, the crescendo, the peak battle between Mashiach taking out all of this evil from the world. Yeah, there's a lot, much more going on than just our everyday lives. Hey, Sharon. Right, alcohol is called spirits, yeah. Before I start, you guys, let's do our prayer from the Arizal to get ourselves ready to attach ourselves to the Arizal and his holy teachings and the Zohar. Ribon ha'olam em b'yadonei hadanim av harachamim v'yaslichos modim anachnu lefanecha Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avosenu b'kido uv'shtecha vaya shekaravtanu l'sorasecha v'le'avodasecha avodas hakodesh v'nasatu lanu chelek v'sodos sorasecha hakadosh mo anu mechayenu asher asisa imanu chesed gadol kazeh al ken anachnu mapilim tachanunenu lefanecha shetimcho v'tislach l'kol chatosenu v'avonosenu ואל יהיו עוונותינו מבדילים בינינו לבינך, ובכן יהי רצון לפניך, אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו שתכונן אס לבבינו לירשך ולעבודך, ותקשיב אזנך לדברנו אלה, ותפתח לבבינו הערל בסודות תורתך. ויהיה לימודנו זה נחת רוח לפני כיסא כבודך כריח ניחוח. ותציל עלינו אור מקור נשמתנו, בכל בחינתנו, ושישנוצצו נציצות עבדיך הקדושים אשר על ידם גילית דבריך על אלה בעולם. וזכוסם וזכוס אבוסם וזכוס תורסם ותמימוסם וקדושסם יעמוד לנו לבל ניכשל בדברים אלו, ובזכוסם תאיר עינינו במה שאנו לומדים. וכמה אמר נעים זמירת ישראל גאל עיניו יביטה נפלוס מסורתך, כי אדוני ייתן חכמה מפיו דעת וסבונה, יהיו לרצון אמרתי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי. Okay, guys, let's start with the notes. Hi, Cheryl. Let's start with the notes from Rabbi Gozlan. Rabbi Gozlan says, this is class 141, Parshat Chukas. Where to start with Kabbalah? A person asked him. He says, Kabbalah is not a philosophy. Kabbalah is a knowledge that moves energies. He said the energies are circular, so it does not matter where you start with Kabbalah, just start. There's no beginning, middle, or end. No matter where you start, you will arrive at a good port. He said what is really sought in Kabbalah learning is a spiritual elevation. He said each class he gives has an energy mission that generates a spiritual elevation and helps us glimpse into the world of causes. Because here we are in the world of effects. This I didn't know, you guys. A woman asked about a woman during menstruation that during your days of nida, you should not meditate on the Hebrew letters. He said to say Tehillim instead, which I did not know that. Okay, he said Sinai, where we received the Torah. In Gematria 130. Also the word sulam, ladder, 130. Sinai 130, ladder 130. Moses climbed a ladder at Sinai to the 4 worlds above. And he brought them down from another dimension. The worlds he brought down, the words he brought down, are very sweet and very holy. Whoever dedicates themselves to the study of the words of Torah, it says in the Zohar, as if you are standing on Sinai itself receiving the Torah. You plug into that Sinai energy every time you immerse yourself in the words of Torah. He said, sitting here right now learning is the same thing energetically as being on Har Sinai. Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, take off your shoes at the burning bush. Take off your shoes. You are on holy ground. He said, this is code. This is a code. What is the code? It means to separate from your body. Take your soul out of your body through meditation. When God says to Moses, separate from your wife, it means the same thing. Your wife is your body. So when God says, take off your shoes or separate from your wife, it's code. What is the code? Get out of your body. Elevate your consciousness out of your body. The soul and the body have 2 types of intelligence. For example, it is said that Abraham his wife had greater prophecy. Sarah Imenu had greater prophecy than Abraham. What does this really mean? That the body of Abraham, which his wife is code for, the body had greater wisdom than his soul, which is interesting. Oh, this is a great thought, you guys. The soul, take off your shoes, means the soul enters the body like a foot enters the shoe. The part of the soul that enters the body is the lowest extremity of the soul. The foot of the soul is what we have in our body right now. So where is the rest of the soul? Where is the upper extremity of the soul? All the upper body? He said, for all of us, the upper part of our soul covers the entire universe. It's as big as all the worlds. We just have, I've heard it said, we have like a fingernail-sized part of our soul that animates this body. Okay, when the Torah says for Moshe to separate from his wife, for Moses to separate from his wife, it is not literal. You have to understand all the codes of the Torah. Moshe left his body. When it says to take off your shoes, when it says to separate from your wife, it means he left his body to merge with celestial light and to attain a level of prophecy no other prophet had accessed before. And now, through us learning Kabbalistic meditations, how to take these 3 letters combinations from the 72 letters, what we're learning in Kabbalah, we too can learn to travel to these other planes. So, Parshas Chukas, this week's Torah portion, we learned about the red heifer, which is a chok, which is a law given to us from God, that has no logical explanation. But he said, with the intelligence of the Zohar, hi Tehila Gomez, I'm happy you're here too. He says, with the intelligence of the Zohar, we can decode the chukim. We can understand the reasons for what until now made no sense. Rabbi Gozlan said, when Moshe died, he entered other planes, these other celestial academies, the universities up there that we spoke about in prior classes. And he goes, oh my gosh, I can explain the reasons up here. They make sense up here. They made no sense on earth, but up here he can explain them. And so what did he do? He came down to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai in the cave and gave him the reasons that he extracted from the celestial universities. So what does the red cow, the red heifer, symbolize? What's the reason? What's the decode here? The red cow symbolizes the tzaddik gamor, the holiest soul, the holiest pure tzaddik, righteous man. The red cow was considered for animal sacrifice. Therefore, it was never allowed to have a yoke on the red heifer. The same thing with the tzaddik, who never had the yoke of any sins on him. How so? How is this parallel? The Kohen, the high priest who sprinkles the ashes of the red cow, becomes impurified as he purifies others. He himself becomes impure. Same thing with the tzaddik who incarnates. He runs the risk by being on earth of becoming impurified by incarnating on the physical plane. When they come here to help other people, they run the risk of becoming defiled. This is why the red cow symbolizes the tzaddik who descends to this world. Rabbi Gozlan said, offering the red cow also came to neutralize the infection caused by the ox of the left side, which is code for Satan. So the red cow comes to neutralize the ox of the left side. The tzaddik is here to, the same secret society is the secret society of the tzaddikim, gemurim, and the secret society of the dark side. You have to listen to Amanda Byes, you guys. She describes this perfectly. It is so real. But don't listen to scare yourself. Listen to educate yourself. The tzaddik, what does he come to do? He comes to teach kabbalah. Kabbalah are the techniques to bypass demonic energies. The tzaddik is the opposite of the Satan. Why is the cow red? Because the tzaddik is the red rose among thorns. A pure tzaddik comes to this world without any karmic debt from previous lives. The tzaddik comes to give birth to pure generations worthy of Olam Haba. He's here to help us, to teach us how to bring down holy energies and holy souls. The people of Israel, whose inheritance is Torah, the inheritance we have are the secrets of heaven. This is referring to tzaddikim who bring light from other planes. Another big secret This is so good also. When a bad decree is decreed in heaven over Israel, God makes it known to the tzaddikim first through prophecy. Before it happens, he gives them a warning. Why? So that tzaddik can do something about it. He can revoke it. And so God can have mercy on Israel. So how does the tzaddik go about revoking the decree? He uses the meditation with the names of God. He can fast. He can stay up at night studying. He uses intentions for prayer with a minyan. He generates a merit to repair the short circuit, the chet, the sin that the people had made. He said, how do we know? Rabbi Gozlan said, how do we know that this is true, that he gives the tzaddik a warning? We see from the story where God told Moses, after the sin of the golden calf, let's destroy these people and start over with you. Hashem gave the tzaddik, Moses, a warning. He gave him a warning. He told him his plans. Hashem could have destroyed us, without even telling Moses. And then Moses had this opportunity to revoke the decree. And Moses said, if you do this, take me out of your book. And in doing so, he was able to revoke God's decree. Rabbi Gozlan, that was a good one, right, guys? Anyone who studies Zohar, Rabbi Gozlan said, has the merit of guarding his tongue, not speaking in vain, not speaking ill of his neighbor, and not defaming God. And I am telling you, since I started understanding Zohar and learning Zohar with you guys, I am so much more careful with my speech. I don't say a word until I think about it 10 times. And when I do slip up, I'm like doing tshuva right away. I'm like asking for forgiveness from all the parties involved. It's like I understand so much deeper that our words carry the weight of the cosmos. God gives one who studies the Zohar a gift. What is this gift? God said, God gives him sight into the spiritual world. He said, just hold your mouth, and you will be able to see into spiritual worlds, what your eyes cannot physically see. He said the majority of the population keeps moving their tongue. He said the tongue is the easiest muscle to move. It never fatigues, which is true. Okay, another major concept Rabbi Gozlan said is be careful, be careful, be careful. Before asking for anything in this world, without generating a merit first. This is how the cosmos works. He said, give charity, do a teaching, take care of a sick person, help somebody who is lost and find their way, invite somebody for a Sabbath meal. He said, this is the transactional currency. You want to go to God with a request? Generate a merit. Okay, guys. It says in the Psalms, Hashem is close to all who call to him in truth. Asher yikru'uhu ve'emes. This is Psalm 145. It's Ashrei. It's the prayer of Ashrei. He said, how is it? Why is God saying this? Is it even possible to call to God with a lie? That's impossible. So there's a hint here. There's a decode here. And we look to the gematria of emes. Emes means truth in Hebrew, and those 3 letters equal 441. Gematria of emes, 441. The name of Hashem, and I'm going to pronounce the names just for the sake of teaching and clarity. Eheyeh Asher Eheyeh, the name of God that he reveals to Moses in the burning bush. I am what I am, I will be what I will be, is 21. Eheyeh is 21. Aleph, Hey, Yud, Hey, 21. 21 squared, he said, is 441. So Hashem is telling Moshe, I am truth squared, truth on steroids. He said everything else is false. But there's another decode here. And this is the heart of our teaching today, guys. This is the heart of where I'm going with this. Eheya is 21. Hashem said, I am Eheya. I am truth on steroids. Eheya is 21. 21 plus 21 is 42. 21 plus Eheya Asher Eheya, 2 Eheyas equals 42. He said this is the secret door. This is the magical combination of my 42 letter name. 21 plus 21. It is found in the prayer of, you ready guys? This is the slingshot. Ana b'koach. Ana b'koach. It is a prayer that is kind of on the back burner. We have to bring it front and center. Rabbi Gozlan said, when you ask Hashem for something and have generated a merit for it, have it in mind. I gave this charity and now I'm going to ask for a request. He said immediately after asking for the thing that you want, he said to recite the Ana b'koach. He said the Ana b'koach is the slingshot that shoots your prayer towards heaven. Like, pew! Just the visual of that is amazing. So he says, Karov Hashem l'chol karov, close is God to all who call out to him, l'kol asher yikruhu be'emet. And the decode of be'emet is found in the 42 letter name of God, which is 2 Eheya. Because Eheya squared is 441. If you could follow that gematria tree. At the end of the class, a woman asked him, but didn't you say that something else helps to get your prayer answered? And he said, yes. He said the Ana b'koach is the slingshot that sends the prayer. And he said, to seal the prayer, you say, Ararita, Aleph, Resh, Yud, Taf, Aleph. And Yud Ke Vav Ke Tzevaos, Hashem Tzevaos, to seal the prayer. So the Ana b'koach sends the prayer. Ararita Hashem Tzevaot seals the prayer. These are top secrets, you guys. We can exist in this world through chesed or gevura, through clemency or rigor. It has to do with the intentions that we put forth in learning and in prayer. God gave the Jewish people all of this knowledge so we can spread it to the world. We can be an or lagoyim, a light to the nations. That's why it says when Mashiach comes, all of humanity must have access to this information. We're like the ambassadors, the preservers, the carriers of this information until now. Preserved it. This was just some interesting information that during the Q&A for this class with Rabbi Gozlan. Kind of creepy though. He says if a person dreams that a dead person comes to them and takes off their shoes, It's an omen for death. What can a person do if they have this dream that a dead person comes to them and takes off their shoes? Go to the mezuzah on your door. Ask the mezuzah to dissolve the dream like salt in water. I also read on Zohar, dailyzohar.com, that if a dead man gives you something, the opposite, if he comes and he gives you something in a dream, that's a good omen. And then another interesting point the Rebbe goes on made was that God's history would take eternity to tell, right? He said if you tried to give the history of Spain, it would take 10 years in a classroom to give over all the information. He goes, think of it like a flag, like the flag of Spain can carry a lot of information through the colors, through the symbols. He said the Torah is the flag of Hashem and the history of the cosmos. It's condensed in there. It's condensed into the Torah. Torah is like a flag, and you can expand it eternally. He said all the history of all the worlds and all of divine consciousness is condensed into the Torah. He also made a great and interesting comment that the Talmud tells you what to do and the Zohar tells you why. I just love that. Okay, so after finding out that the Anu B'Koach prayer is the slingshot for our prayers to reach heaven, I started doing some research on Anu B'Koach. And I found some really great things that I want to read to you guys. You could also do your own digging. The first thing I want to show you, I think Karina, you told me to buy this book, Dialing God. It's from the Kabbalah Center. In here is everything you ever wanted to know about the Anu B'Koach. I looked on Amazon. There's only 10 left. So if you want to order it today. You could probably get it on eBay, or I don't even know if the Kabbalah Center is still selling it, but it is a great book. It's like a cookbook to get to God. It's the holy cookbook. Okay, this is from a website called KabbalahEmpowerment.com. It is Chaim Apsan, a cool guy, very cool guy. He wrote an article, Fascinating Insights on the Kabbalistic Prayer, Anu B'Koach. Many people skip the Tefillah Anu B'Koach, but within these short 7 lines, we find awesome insights from Kabbalah. He said this short prayer of Anu B'Koach was written by Rabbi Nechunya ben Hakana. He was a Tana. He lived in the time of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. It said about him that he was so holy that he would burn birds while performing yichudim by using the braided names of Hashem in meditation. And people say birds was a metaphor for angels. The prayer Anu B'Koach looks relatively simple. It's 7 stanzas, each consisting of 6 words. It has 42 words. They are meticulously crafted. If you take the first letter of each of these words, you form 7 divine names that must not be pronounced. They're acronyms that you scan with the eye. After you read each stanza of 6 words, there's an acronym at the end, a 6-letter acronym of those 6 words, and you just scan the acronym with your eyes. You say the words, and then you scan the acronym. In this article, he talks about how he goes into a lot of depth about how all the prayers are really how to elevate worlds. This is a great concept, you guys. I just want to read you one of the paragraphs. He says, lifting the spiritual worlds with the anabakoach. He said, we consider it a simple concept that we can lift things with our hands. We can lift things with our hands. He said, Hashem also has hands. And here would be the best moment to digress and explain one of the most piercing conundrums of Jewish thought and Kabbalah. The Torah is filled with I can never say that word. Anthropomorphic language. In the Tanakh, we find the words hands, legs, eyes, ears, and so on, being freely used in regards to Hashem. This would seem to fly in the face of the rabbinic injunction against attributing physicality to God. If you say that these are merely metaphors, then why not use something for which we wouldn't fall into the trap of physicality? Just make a new word for it, for example. And besides, if the Torah is the source of all truth, then it has to be true on all levels. Pshat, remez, drash, sod. The simple, the allusions, the expositions, and the secrets. So how do we explain this? The first thing to understand is that we are in the lowest of the spiritual realms. It's called Asiya, Olam HaAsiya, the world of doing. He said, actually, our physical bodies inhabit the even lower physical part of the world of Asiya. Our physical bodies, in fact, are the furthest thing away from the truth of the higher realms, and therefore barely resembling anything in those realms. So, of course, there is no physicality in spiritual realms. But it's not like the Torah is a metaphor for Hashem and we have the real hands, right? It's not like the Torah is a metaphor for God and we're the ones with the real hands. Rather, we humans who are created in the divine image are metaphors for the Torah. We are the metaphors, meaning we are not the ones with the real hands, but only a gross imitation of what real hands are. God is the one with the real hands. We are the ones with the metaphoric hands. It's such a flip. I love this thought. It is only when we become elevated to perceive higher realms that we can see what real limbs are. And they don't look anything like what we have on this earth. Maybe a little bit they do. He said, Hashem, there's three hands mentioned in Torah. There's the Yad Gedola, the great hand, which is Chesed. These are the hands of God. The Yad Chazaka, the strong hand of the left side of might and Gerura. The Yad Harama, the raised hand or lifting hand, which is at the center, which is Tiferet. So interesting. Okay. This is from Daily Zohar. Tzion Nefesh, his website. What does he have to say about the Ana B'Koach? He says the 42-letter name of God, the Ana B'Koach, has the aspect of the head, which is male, which is the giver, which is the conduit of light. It is a powerful force and the source of everything in the whole creation. Nothing moves in this world without the power of the 42-letter name of God. The 72-letter name of God to remind you guys, this is the 72-letter name of God broken up into 3-letter names. The 72 letter name of God has the aspect of the body and serves as a bridge to the light that comes from the head. So the Anabakoach, the 42 letter name of God, is the head. And then the 72 letter name is like the body, that the light from the head travels down to reach us. The 42 letters come concealed in the first 42 letters of the Torah. They're hidden there. But the 72 letter name is revealed in the splitting of the sea story in the 3 verses in Exodus 14, verses 19 through 21. He says to begin a proper meditation on the 72 names, start by getting into a calm state of mind and body. Meditate on the purpose of the meditation and where you wish to channel the light that you are about to receive. He said you can almost never ask the light for something for yourself alone, except for in a life-threatening situation. You need to ask for the greater good. And within that greater good, it will be your good as well. Recite the Anabakoach and avoid thinking about selfish desires. Every wish should be connected to the benefit of others. Remember that a strong desire may draw the light you wish, but it doesn't guarantee that it will come without negative aspects. After finishing the Anabakoach, this is his technique. He said, after you finish with the Anabakoach, do not recite the Baruch Shem part and continue to scan the 72 names. Scan all the names without pronouncing any of them. Just scan them like a barcode. Use your eyes as a barcode scanner. After you finish scanning the 72 names, and then you could recite the Baruch Shem, the last closing sentence we say in a whisper. Baruch Shem Kavod Machoso, that one. So you say the Anabakoach, you scan the 72, you scan this chart, and then you seal it with the Baruch Shem. This is what the Anabakoach looks like, where you say it's 7 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 lines, one for each day of the week. And then this is the acronym at the end that you just scan with the eyes. Each one is a 6-letter name of God that you just scan. And then at the end is this is from Tzion Nefesh's daily Zohar website. You could print it out yourself. And the last thing I want to read to you guys about the Anabakoach, this magical holy incantation to counteract the spirit cooking of all the evil, gross, disgusting people out there worshiping the Baal and the Molech. Those people are all about rituals. They're all about formulas. They're all about channeling energy. And it's time for us to understand, us good people, to understand how to channel godly energy. In this book, Kabbalist Rev Berg says, the Kabbalistic concept of prayer is that praying gives us the opportunity to participate in the quantum dynamics of the cosmos. And just start. It's just like Kabbalah. Just start. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be sincere. Do your best. Mix the energies of your pure heart with what you learn and how to do these prayers. And it's super powerful. It changes chaos to order in the cosmos for all of creation. Pray for all of creation. The Anabakoach, and this I'm reading to you from Dialing God Now, the Anabakoach is perhaps the most powerful prayer in the entire universe. 2nd century Kabbalist Rav Nachunya ben Hakana was the first sage to reveal this combination. He says this encompasses the power of all of creation. It is the first 42 letters. It's hidden in the first 42 letters of Genesis. The Anabakoach is a unique formula. It is the 42-letter name of God that all of creation is generated from. There was something I wanted to read to you. Hold on. I don't remember where I read it, but it's saying that it was saying something to the effect that this prayer, the 42-letter name of God, is the source of all creative power. It's like God letting us into his biggest secret. If I find that sentence later, I'll put it up on Telegram. There was such a good way somebody said it, and I don't have it in front of me now. I'm trying to remember it. Let me just look through one more time. Okay, if I find it, I'll post it later, you guys. It was such a beautiful sentence. Okay, now, what time is it? Okay, I wanted to read from the Zohar itself. I know a lot of you guys got copies of the Sensino. So we are on page, where should we read, you guys? I marked 3 of them that I want to read, but we're running out of time, so let me just see which one. Yeah. Let's just read on page 248. Oh, they're all so good, though. Chaval. Okay, let's go to page 248. In the Sensino. Book 5. Parshat Chukas, Zohar 183a and b. That is the well whereof the Lord said unto Moses, gather the people, etc. This well never left them. It may be asked, how could they all draw from it? This is how. It issued into 12 streams. This is the well of Miriam that gave them water in all of their travels in the desert. So I always wondered practically, like, how did they all drink from one well? So this is how the Zohar tells us. It issued into 12 streams, and the channel went forth in every direction. And when Israel encamped and required water, they used to stand by it and recite the song. Ascend, O well. Bring up thy waters to provide water for all, so that they may be watered from thee. So too, they sang praises of the well which the princes digged, etc. And that they said in its praise, all that they said in its praise was true. And from this, we learn that if one wishes to set in motion the powers above, whether through action or words, He produces no effect if that action or word is not as it should be. All people go to synagogue to influence the powers above, but only a few know how to do it. And this is why we're learning from Kabbalists how to pray with powers that can bypass the dark forces. Techniques. We're learning techniques. God is near to all who know how to call upon him in truth and to set powers in motion in the proper manner. But if they do not know how to call upon him, he is not near. So here the Israelites spoke words of truth. You have to speak words of truth so as to set in motion this well, the water well of Miriam. And before they did this, it would not move. And who knows, maybe they said the Anabakoach. Maybe they used the 42-letter name of God. If that's what Rabbi Gozlan taught, the decode of what truth is the Anabakoach prayer. It's very possible that the Jews of the desert somehow used it as well. And then here comes a really good point. So also with magicians who get the evil species to serve them. If they, the dark forces, do not employ the right formulas to draw them, they do not stir, they do not move. As it says, they called on the name of the Baal, etc. Kings 1, 18:26. Yet they availed nothing. For one thing, because it was not permitted to them to bring fire down from heaven, and for another, because they did not use the right invocation, since God confused them. As it said, thou didst turn their hearts backwards. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said, here I must tell you something. Whoever knows how to perform the correct ceremony and recite the proper words can certainly influence the Holy One, blessed be he. Eheyeh asher eheyeh, 21 plus 21, the Anabakoach. If so, it may be asked, what is the superiority of the righteous who know the root of the matter and can concentrate their minds and thoughts more than the others who do not know this? The truth is that those who do not know the basis of these ceremonies and perform the prayers only as a matter of rote, they draw down to themselves an influence from behind the shoulders. There's more anthropomorphism. The Kisefayim, the shoulders of the Holy One, which is called providence, hashgacha. Okay, so people who pray without knowing all of the Kabbalistic stuff, you're still drawing down providence. You're still drawing down this thing called hashgacha from behind the shoulders of God, whatever that means. But those who do know the secrets draw forth blessing from a different place, a place which is called machshava, thought, until upper and lower beings are blessed and the holy name is blessed through them. Happy are they in that God is near them and ready to answer when they call. And those are the tzaddikim. Okay, guys, let's end. Do you guys want to wait a second while I try to find that paper? I want to read to you that one line. Do you mind waiting 1 minute? I think it might be downstairs on my table. I'll be right back. Shoot. Okay, guys, I'm back. Oh, this reminds me also, the Anabukoach. Hold on. Okay, so let me just read a little more from here. The Anabukoach literally removes all friction, barriers, and obstacles. How? Because the Anabukoach connects us to the 7 sfirot, because it's 7 sentences. It connects us to the letters of each month. It's all in this book, you guys, in great detail. You can, number 3, to the correction of the soul, tikkun hanefesh, which brings about healing of the body. And also, which is very cool, to the angels of the day. Each day has a designated angel. And in this book, you see like Tuesday, Thursday, you scan all of this stuff and you can connect through the Anabukoach to the angel of the day. Okay, so that was good. Let me just see if this had that sentence. Okay, the Kabbalists explain that this combination of letters takes us back to the time of creation. Each time we meditate on a particular sentence, we return to the uncorrupted energy that built the world. That still wasn't it. I don't know where that sentence was. Maybe I just read it online, but it was, if I find it, I'm going to read it to you guys. Okay, so let's end today. The name of this book, Irma, is called Dialing God, Daily Connection Book. Dialing God. Put it into Amazon, put it into Google. You'll find it. It's out there. Yeah, Karina got this for me. She led me to this. All right, let's end off today with Chanoch. Chapter 13. God writes with a flaming style on Metatron's crown. Oh my gosh, you guys. The cosmic letters. This is too much. This is too much for me right now. Ooh. This is too much. How does Hashem do this? I don't know. Hashem writes with a flaming style, with his pen, on Metatron's crown, the cosmic letters by which heaven and earth were created. Rabbi Yishmael said, Metatron, the angel, the prince of presence, said to me, because of the great love and mercy with which the Holy One, blessed be he, loved and cherished me more than all the children of heaven, he wrote with his ringer, with a flaming style, upon the crown on my head, the letters by which he created heaven and earth, the seas and the rivers, the mountains and the hills, the planets and the constellations, the lightning, the wind, the earthquakes, the voices, the thunders, the snow and hail, the storm wind, the tempest, the letters by which were created all the needs of the world and the order of creation. And every single letter, every single Hebrew letter, sent forth time after time as it were lightnings, time after time as it were torches, time after time as it were flames of fire, time after time rays as the rising of the sun and the moon and the planets. The letters, the Anabakoach, the letters of creation. Hold on, you guys. Oh, Rev Burke wrote something so good here. Let me just end with this. The Hebrew Aramaic letters, the purpose of this book, Dialing God, is to help you make the connection to the ever-present light force of the Creator. The Hebrew Aramaic letters, the letters on Metatron's crown that God emblazoned with his fiery stylus. The Hebrew Aramaic letters are a powerful tool given to us by the Creator to assist in making the connection. Meditate on the letters. Since before the time of creation, these letters were designated to be the channels for the energy of the life force. They are the designated channels. The Hebrew Aramaic letters are channels of energy. The 72 names of God are channels of energy built on sequences of Hebrew Aramaic letters. That's that chart of the 72. It is not necessary to master or memorize the techniques contained in this book. All that is required is reading them, scanning them with an open mind and an open heart. They draw down the light force. All right, you guys. That's our slingshot. Use the Anabakoach. Learn the Anabakoach. You could say it as there's no limit to how many times you can say the Anabakoach. I read that somewhere. May all of our prayers be answered on behalf of the world, of humanity, of overcoming all the dark forces, of reclaiming as much of the dark back to the light as possible as we can, and arriving at the point where God calls game over. And he himself eradicates all the dark energies from the face of the earth. And we all can move forward in the light. I love you guys so much. Have a great day.